Now, class, who wants to learn the famous poem about Christopher Columbus? Oh, you all do? Okay, here's how it goes. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He had 3 ships and left from Spain. He sailed through sunshine, wind, and rain. He sailed by night, he sailed by day. He used the stars to find his way. Day after day they looked for land. They dreamed of trees and rocks and sand. October 12th, their dream came true. You never saw a happier crew. Indians, Indians, Columbus cried. His heart was filled with joyful pride. The Taínos natives were very nice. They gave the sailors food and spice. Columbus wrote the following about the Indians in his private journal. He also wrote this letter to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. Hi, my name is Merrie Koester Southgate. In 2011, I published a science education novel, the creation of which was rooted in my own repugnance of the racism I had observed growing up in the Deep South, as well as my passion for preserving and protecting the ocean, upon which all life forms depend for their very existence. In this novel, I intentionally drew parallels between the story of African slavery in America and the exploitation of the ocean and its living creatures. And I invite you to consider whose handprints were left behind. Let's return to the story of Columbus and the once thriving Taínos culture, as I imagined the story happening. Recall that Columbus thought he was in India, where he would find plentiful gold and spices. However, there was scant gold or spices in these Indies, but Columbus was convinced the Taínos were hiding their riches. So Columbus ordered the Taínos to lead them to the gold. Further, he told them they must bow down to Isabella and Ferdinand of Spain. They must worship their God and become their slaves, or else. The Taínos were no match for the vicious attack dogs of the Spaniards. I bring you back to my story and invite you to imagine what likely may have been recorded had the Taínos not been wiped off the planet. Let's imagine that the Taínos leader, let's call him Aramana, called an emergency tribal meeting. Their ancient medicine man or shaman, let's call him Loquillo, knew that the end of the Taínos was near. They had all seen the powerful weapons of the Metalbacks. Loquillo foresaw a bleak and horrible future for their people and their sacred lands and waters and all creatures on and in it. Standing proudly before his tribe, Loquillo shouted, "The fish will be taken, the forest felled, the waters will be fouled, and the air made unsafe to breathe. Men will cry out then, because they will not be able to eat their gold." Culturally relevant pedagogy empowers students intellectually, socially, emotionally, and politically by using cultural reference to impart knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Culturally relevant teaching must result in student learning. How has the story you have just experienced affected you? Who won and who lost? What are effective classroom strategies for teaching science and social studies to culturally and linguistically diverse students? The authors of the Next Generation Science Standards recommend that we connect science to students' sense of place, physical, historical, and sociocultural. They also recommend that we teach through multimodal experiences. Above all else, make diversity and discrimination visible.